Hey, real quick, shout out to all my Bosnian viewers out there. Throne and Liberty is the most polarizing MMO to have been released as of recent times, because on one hand, you have a somewhat decent MMO, and on the other hand, you got microtransaction pay-to-win hell. Allegedly. I don't know, man. I wrote this part before playing the game. Now, this could be a hot take, but I don't really care if a game's pay to win as long as you can get to the same gear score and power or whatever as a free-to-play player, granted with reasonable grinding, then I don't really mind it. The point of this video is to see just how bad the pay-to-win elements really are, because believe it or not, I am a free-to-play connoisseur, and I've played a huge selection of them, so if this game manages to top all of them, then that's a really scary issue. So after avoiding hundreds of reviews on YouTube and ducking the mixed reviews on Steam, here is what Throne and Liberty looks like to a free-to-play player. Starting off with the pretty advanced character creator, I'd even go as far to say that it's even better than the Minecraft Bedrock character creator.
I wonder how much his remains would go for on eBay.
Afterwards came the basic tutorial of any MMO you've ever seen, and this is where the game introduces combat. It sucks. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, it is not as fluid as I would have hoped, and I know it was even worse beforehand, but it's still not good. Or maybe it's a me problem. Maybe I should have just watched tutorials on YouTube on how to make the combat better, because the fucking game clearly can't do it itself, but you know, whatever. After finishing the tutorial, I finally got access to the in-game shop and decided to take a peek. I think this is it. Armor growth stone are used to upgrade epic armor, so you need these gemstones to upgrade your armor, or your rare and epic armor, I guess. So this isn't pay to win, as it's more pay for convenience, because you definitely could farm these growth stones, and I was passively getting them from just doing the main quest line anyway. But of course, you could always just skip the grind by dropping a few Iranian rials on some upgrade tokens. But speaking of upgrades, what is this screen? Are you serious? So leveling up your skill is RNG too?
Yeah, and it's the book only goes so far.
It only goes up to Oh my god. This is the worst design I've ever seen ever. Can we get a round of applause to Throne and Liberty for having the dumbest skill upgrading system known to mankind? I knew you had it in you, and if it was gonna be anyone, it would have been you. I'm so proud. The fact that leveling up your skills, not your armor or weapons, but your skills, your active and passive abilities are designed for you to spend money is just pure buffoonery. I mean, the only thing that'll make this worse is if it had a BDO enhancement style spin to it, but thank God NCSoft and Amazon decided to spare us. For now. Oh my god. I know I'm in medium graphics, but Jesus Christ, what is this? Anyways, we continue to do some pretty basic quests and spamming the F key as much as possible to skip the cookie cutter story. And after 3 to 5 hours, the game started to kind of grow on me, but I wasn't fully captivated in the game or anything. It was like filling up 5% out of 100% of my fun bar. But what about the pay to win aspects? Did I come across something egregiously money hungry in the first 5 hours? Not particularly. Maybe except for the accelerated upgrading system. I personally didn't experience anything too bad. I also don't know what switching weapons or configuring a new skill bar feels like, because if you're anything like me, you pick the biggest sword and pump points into strength and you're set for life. Also, just a little side tangent here, but the dungeons in this game, or at least the one I'm showing you on screen right now, is just so fucking bad. Like, Terra's Land did a better job at making an engaging dungeon. Terra's Land, I'm talking about a game that nobody talks about anymore, dog. Terra's Land's dungeons were way better.
82 km plus tard.
If you couldn't tell, I did some off-camera mining here and I got to the big boy level of 27. And at this point, I've invested 12 or so hours into Throne and Liberty, and honestly, I still haven't seen any horrendous paywall issues while playing. Yeah, the combat still isn't great, I'm still experiencing some visual glitches, and my F key is probably lopsided by how often I skip every single piece of dialogue. But again, nothing relating to pay to win has shown up at my front doorstep to cause a ruckus. You know what I just realized? I haven't done much live commentary in this video yet, so let's just go ahead and do that real quick. Hey guys, what I'm doing right now is I'm just upgrading my armor, or I guess enhancing my armor, and then I think after this we're gonna go check out the newest dungeon that I unlocked, and then after that I guess I'm just gonna go off and level up my cooking, because I want to get that to at least level 8. A lot of people have told me, or at least videos that I've seen, cooking is like extremely important, and not a lot of people do it. I thought I was gonna be the cool outlier, but I started doing it. I think I'm level 6 now. It takes a long time. So my kind of like routine, or I guess not routine, but my goal is to finish out all the story missions. So I'm on chapter 7 right now. I don't know how many chapters there are in this game, but in between, like here it says I need to be level 32. I'm like level 31, and the quarter-ish. What I usually do is I go off and do these codex missions. If you do some of these, like if you just keep doing, like if you do this one, it gives you a lot of XP actually. Look at that, 8,000, 15,000, 38,000, and combine all that together, that's like a level and a half from just this one tiny little side objective technically. And it gives you some more rewards on the side here, some more growth stones and stuff. Codexes are really worth it in this game. The best part is they're not like huge time commitments either. Make sure to favorite one though if you're gonna do one. I'm just gonna do this one. Dude, I'm literally about to go look up some tutorials on how to make the combat in this game better, because I'm kind of starting to get into this game more and more each day, but the combat is so AIDS that like I don't even want to it's just like the one thing that's like discouraging me to keep going to like level cap or something. The combat is just so ass. It's not the worst combat I've ever experienced, like it's not Shroud of the Avatar bad or anything, but it's not good. Dude, it's so hard to commentate over an MMO. Wait, is that it? Oh, okay, I was about to say, man, that was the lamest dungeon if that was it. But yeah, it's so hard to commentate over an MMO because it's like I don't even know what to say half the time. Like I'm just pressing buttons. I'm not really seeing what the hate's all about around this game, but maybe I'm not like at that point yet where I can start actually hating on the game. I think the game is fine, you know. I think borderline right now the game is just fine. I can't really say if I'm having fun or not, but I just, again, I think yeah, this is okay, you know. All right, here we go. Big boss himself. Speaking of bosses though, this game does not have big bosses. I'll put the footage on screen right now. Me and Izu were off doing a world boss. That was not a world boss, man. That was like a village boss, a homeless camp boss. Like that boss was tiny. I was looking up videos too of like other world bosses. They're all so small. Either the bosses are just super small or our characters are just ginormous.
Mini square fat, mini square fat, mini.
For the record, I'd just like to say that I helped. After beating that boss, I completely forgot about leveling up my cooking and decided to do more codex missions for XP to continue the main story. In fact, I repeated this cycle so many times I ended up reaching level 42. So after nearly 17 hours, I can wrap up my first player experience and most importantly, talk about the pay to win aspects that I faced while playing. First and foremost, I'd like to divide my thoughts into two sections. One side is the free to play point of view and the other side is a casual player's point of view. So let's start off with the free-to-play POV, and in almost 20 hours of playing, I didn't encounter a single piece of pay-to-win anything. Maybe that'll all change once I hit the end game, and I'm assuming I'm gonna need some higher level material that'll be easier to acquire by spending money, but there was nothing that really pushed me to spend money on the cash shop or anything. I know I said that the upgrading system is stupid, and I still think it makes a negative impression on newer players, but the more you play, the more you realize that growth stones are generously given to you, and you get used to the upgrading system in a few hours. Do I think it's better than a regular skill tree? No, absolutely not, but it isn't as bad as I thought it was. So is Throne and Liberty pay to win? As a new player, no, I don't think it is. I experienced things that I feel most new players would also experience with or without spending money. But again, this could all change when I hit the end game. However, as of right now, with nearly 20 hours in the game and level 40 something, no, it is not pay to win. So now let's talk about what I thought of the game as a casual player, aka everything else. So let's get the big one out of the way first. The combat is still ass. I tried other weapons off camera and guess what? It's still ass. I'll admit that I've gotten used to it at this point, but a game's combat system should not be something you get used to in 17 hours. You should have been used to it 17 hours ago. But I guess there's no point in hooping and hollering about it because there's absolutely no way they'll rehaul the entire combat system. The bosses in this game are lacking in being a boss, but I guess that's also to be expected because it is a PvP focused MMO. What else? The dungeons are mid, the story is mid. Honestly, this game is just mid. But don't get it twisted, that doesn't mean it's bad, it's just mid. I don't think Throne and Liberty is gonna be the next big thing, it's just gonna be an okay and average MMO. That's kind of what it felt like when I was playing the game. It's nothing special and doesn't try to be. Again, I'm not saying the game is bad, it's just fine. Not the worst, but not the best either. To be honest, I'd give Throne and Liberty like a 5 out of 10. It's, again, okay. And with that, first impressions, not a review, I'm ending this video. I know there's been a gap in uploads recently, but I've been working on a huge video in the background, and honestly, I can say that it's gonna be the biggest video on my channel, so stay tuned for a hefty surprise. But for right now, I got nothing else left to say, so yeah. Thank you for watching.